Okay, we'll call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Nicholas County Commission Wednesday, May 15th, 2024 to order. Our president is in Charleston right now having a baby, so we wish them good luck, and I should have prayed for that.
Absolutely.
And so we'd like to start the motions, if you'd like to start here.
Yep. So upon review of the exonerations as presented by the Nicholas County Assessor, move to approve accordingly.
Motion to approve.
Aye.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay, upon review of the estate and fiduciary matters as presented by the Nicholas County Clerk, move to approve accordingly unless otherwise noted. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Upon submission of budget revisions received from the elected officials and department heads, the commission will take appropriate action as deemed necessary.
Motion approved.
Aye.
Aye. Upon review of the invoices submitted by various departmental offices, the commission will take the appropriate action as deemed necessary. Motion to approve.
Aye.
Aye. We have some terms expiring. Should we just table all of those till Garrett's back?
Yes. I think so.
Okay, we have three to think about. Craigville Public Library, we have a position open. Nicholas County Farmland Protection, we have a position open. And the Nicholas County Solid Waste Authority, we have a motion. So we will table those and move those until Garrett's back here.
The exit will expire till June 30th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, do we have anybody for public comment?
Hey Craig, turn your mic around.
Oh,
Yeah, they had twisted to the
it's not working.
early voting.
Okay, so now is Michael here.
Yes.
Michael, what's your last name?
Manley,
Manley.
M-A-N-L-E-Y.
Michael Manley is here from Software Systems with an update on the AAS 400 problems and discussion of regarding a possibly new system.
Okay. So just an update as of what happened just this morning. We, over the weekend, migrated Cabell County's system to the new one, and we've got quite a few migrations that are going to happen this year because this particular model is in, I think, about 8 other counties, and it's end of service. IBM has concluded that it's end of service. So, but they're honoring any maintenance all the way through, so it'll continue to be able to be used until that. So the issue with the tape drive had died here, which led to us discovering that in 2019, our company, along with the company that basically orders all this stuff through IBM, Arrow, had missed the tape drive maintenance. So I calculated it up with 4 other counties. It was approximately about $6,500 that Nicholas County ended up not having to pay for tape drive maintenance. That's what it would have been for those roughly 5 years.
Awesome.
Obviously we had IBM come out to check all the different things that they could internal to the system. Everything seemed to be okay. We brought down our personal tape drive and had different issues, but not the same. So finally we had this chance to get a 100% known working good tape drive from Cabell County, and we talked to their commission. They were completely fine. They weren't going to use it anymore.
Right.
The new systems have different technologies of backups. They're faster. They're all internal, which the advantage of it being internal is there's only one single maintenance. You don't have to worry about the separate maintenance, so there's never a chance for that to be missed. So either way, we connected this and tested it this morning, and it works fine.
Okay.
So there's, and Nicholas County can keep this as long as they want.
That's awesome.
We have it labeled and everything, so we know the serial number. Your old one is still down there. There's no real reason to take it or anywhere. And then I think your current maintenance is up in December of 25, I believe. So yeah, this can stay, in the same way that it is all the way until then. The other thing that we're going to do, we're about to migrate Taylor County next, and they're going to again have another tape drive. So we're going to kind of, as a company, sort of collect these older ones because IBM also considers that tape drive to be end of life. So they don't really offer more maintenance or anything like that because, like with the systems and everything, as long as there is maintenance and it's stayed, they'll continue to honor it. But otherwise, most of the time, if you and I don't know specifically numbers on the tape drive itself, but most of the time if something is end of service and you ask for maintenance on it, it's usually, in my opinion, a pretty exorbitant amount of money, and
Right.
it's not worth it.
Gotcha.
So, and I've been doing this for probably about 11 years, and I've never actually seen a tape drive die. So this is the first time that's ever happened. So I wouldn't anticipate that it'll be an issue again. And I wouldn't say that you have to really worry about looking for any sort of maintenance or costs or anything on this current one.
So what type of scheduled maintenance would you guys normally do on a tape drive other than clean it?
Honestly, no, we don't do anything.
Or anybody, I mean.
Yeah, it's basically there's just a cleaning tape.
That's what I thought.
And yeah, the mainly it's just the system, the tape drive will tell the system and basically give a what's called a system operator message whenever it needs to be cleaned, and then you just pop a tape drive in.
Yep.
Cleaning tape usually takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Some counties decide to run their tape cleaner more often, but that's not usually recommended just because they're, abrasive. That's how they work. So we found out in a couple of cases that certain counties kind of are over cleaning their tapes. But yeah, I mean typically it's once every 2 months or something roughly. But all the same tapes that you have and cleaning tapes and all that, they still work with this. This is literally the exact same model. It was purchased roughly at the exact same time, just by different counties. So yeah.
And the new system, you said when we migrate to that'll be an internal hard drive. Does it overwrite? Does it keep like a certain number and 100 days or 50 for backups or 30?
It's still very much like a tape drive. It's just internal to the system. So it still ejects. You still have cartridges.
Okay.
But it's not actually a tape like a winding technology. It's a solid state drive. So basically, that's like that's what a lot of new computers come with anyway. But and that takes your backup time. We did a full system backup on Cavill stuff, and they have a ton of circuit clerk data. We did it in about 45 minutes, where typically a full system backup would take 3 to 4 hours on a tape. So that also means that less time for online payments to be down, and that usually runs about 11:30. So there's a lot of advantages of this new technology, and the removable media is cheaper because it's not as antiquated. And sometimes in computers that tends to hike the price up when stuff's older and hard to find. So.
Awesome.
But yeah, the process for the tax office or the county clerk or whoever actually changes the tapes every day is the same thing. The tape will eject automatically, and then they'll just label them once a week and all the same stuff.
So you guys forced it down, and you forced a file. You said you basically created a file, forced it over that to make sure they would communicate.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we picked the smallest library in the system and then tried to save it to it and had no issues.
Okay.
So the only thing we're going to do later in the day is just rename it to the correct name. That's what's internal to the system, and then the backup will run just like normal. And obviously we'll check that in the morning just to make sure that.
That's what I was gonna say. So you have to manually schedule that. None of that would change on the actual server itself.
No. Yeah.
All plugging in, it'll write the same time schedule.
Yes.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing we have to do is change the name, and then once that matches with the job scheduler, then it just runs automatically like normal.
That's it.
Yeah.
So your recommendation is update the system at the end of 2025.
Yeah, well, that's when the maintenance expires.
Okay, now, is the new system work on tape drives, or is it on thumb drives, or how's it?
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, technically it's called an RDX drive, but it's a solid state kind of drive. It looks very much like a tape. It's a little bit smaller, but the backup kind of operates in the same way. The only difference is it's smaller and it's actually built into the front of the system instead of having its own separate piece that has a separate power cable.
More along a thumb drive than an actual tape being read.
Yeah, I think the RDX drives are, I don't know, maybe about that size, so they still fit like that. But yeah, it's basically the same technology as what's in a thumb drive. It's just a solid state chip, so there's no.
No, when you take these tapes and you store them, date them and store them, so apparently we have a lot of those. How do you, if you have to go back and all this technology's going, and somebody needs to read that, how is that going to happen?
If we had to go back 2 or 3 years after we upgrade, how would that work?
Well, I mean, every time, like when we move a system, we always do a full system backup anyway. So all the data that's there is there and updated.
It's a cumulative. So,
yeah,
okay.
exactly. So basically, you would almost never want to go back that far.
Right.
Usually, you don't want to go back more than a week because
Gotcha.
the data gets updated so quickly. Even with online payments, that's why we do a nightly backup as well. So the full system backup is, is better to, we always do that so that we have sort of the initial state of the system in case there's some sort of hardware configuration issue. To be honest, in the 40 some odd years that our company's been doing this, we've never actually had to use a full system backup to recover anything. Actually, that's not true. I think in one case there was a fire somewhere and we had to do that. And then we took the supplemental backups to get the tax office or county clerk or all the specific data up to date. So, yeah.
Okay,
Definitely appreciate it.
Okay.
thank you, sir. Also, we need, I forgot one part here. Motion to approve an order authorizing local banks and county depositories for local funds. Do we have a motion on that?
So moved.
Second? Well, we don't do second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. We had,
Our 9:30 and 9:40.
our 9:30 was going to be a executive session. Do you know if that's going to happen?
I do not know.
So let's take a break. Nichols County Commission, and do I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss a real estate issue?
I make a motion that we enter into an executive session pursuant to West Virginia Code 6-9A-4.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Call this meeting back to order. Do we have a motion to come out of executive session, and noted that there was no decisions made? This was just a discussion about real estate.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're out of executive session. Do we need to get Patty back in?
Greg, how long do we have you to do
January
title research?
January 1.
Okay,
Let's double duty him after that.
yeah. Birch River PSD has a project and it has just a few easements. I'm like, if we fast track it, we might be able to get Greg to do
Great.
I can
it.
get the easements done.
Okay, cool.
But my grandson will be here.
Okay.
When's he coming?
He knows he has to be here January 1. So he'll be here January 1.
We have come out of executive session.
Oh, okay. Who made the motion?
Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we're on. Cassandra Lawson is here, Senior Project Manager with Region 4 and Development Council, to discuss 7 items.
There are several, but I think we'll be able to breeze through most of them pretty quickly. So the Craigsville PSD generator project, at the last meeting, we presented what we thought was the last invoice, but we actually had one final invoice pop up. But since the last time we requested funding from this FEMA program, they've updated some of their protocols. So even though we're actually at the stage of closing this project out, we're having to go back and jump through some hoops to get the paperwork the way they want to see it in order to do that. So we have a request for funding to the commission for the generator project, although this project is 100% funded already. So we have prepared a letter of declination for you. If you would like to hear what we've proposed. This is addressed to Mr. Gary Robinson, the general manager there at the Craigsville PSD. It just says, thanks for coming before the commission to request monetary support. As you're aware, the commission has supported the PSD in many other endeavors, including the PSD's recent critical replacement of its influent pump station. While the commission is in support of the generators project and appreciates the PSD's diligence in seeking to provide the best possible service it can to residents of Nicholas County, the commission is unable to contribute monetary support at this time. And that's essentially what it says. So then also in supporting that, we have a non-federal share worksheet, again, that just kind of reiterates that the project does have adequate funding, that there's not any other funding necessary to close it out. And then lastly, The first item, FEMA has also sent over an updated subrecipient agreement. So those are the first three items. And this is all of the supporting documentation that goes along with those. I didn't bring the whole subrecipient agreement. I did email it over. I just brought the cover page and the
Great.
signature page.
Just needs Gary's signature.
So I make a motion that we approve the paperwork associated with Resolution 1, the Craigsville PSD Generators Project, the updated non-federal share worksheet, and the subrecipient agreement.
Okay, motion's on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
And then
was
for-
that 11 and 12, or were you going over that too?
We'll hit that next. Yep. And that plays right into that. So this is our final request for this project. It's a $1,000 invoice from the Thrasher Group to complete their original contract amount.
$1,000 even?
Yep.
Okay.
And then that will close that project out completely.
I make a motion that we approve the $1,000 invoice for the Craigsville PSD Generator Project, FEMA request for payment number 12, resolution number 11.
Motion's on the floor, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, Birch River PSD.
So Birch River PSD has a generator project funded by this same program. They're requesting a time extension. Their contract has already bid, it's been awarded, the generators have been ordered, but there was a really long lead time on them coming in. So those are anticipated, I think, to be delivered in July.
Is that the ones that we had actually talked about? They had changed the size on them because of the, I guess
Yes.
the ones, the original were a huge lead time.
So the 40, there was a 25
Kilowatt.
25 kilowatt generator. And that's what the contractor, he bid that and everything, and it was all good. But then when he actually went to place the order, Cummins was like, hey, sorry, we just literally cannot get this
Right.
anymore. I guess the manufacturer of the motor is maybe overseas, and just one day they quit making that motor. So
Right.
that plays into a little bit of the project as well. So the increase in generator size
Mhm.
also increased the pad it sits on. So we actually had to ask for an approval to increase that pad size, and the PSD is still waiting on that. But we expect that everything should break loose, and it's just the period of performance expires maybe July 16th, something like that, and we're asking for an extension of a year. But we feel confident we'll
Of
be
1
able
year?
to- Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I make a motion that we extend, or we approve the time extension request for 1 year for the Birch River PSD's generator project.
There's a motion on the floor, but a little discussion is, will this affect anything with FEMA or anything like that?
Funding.
No.
They would want to do anything?
No. And in the letter, we kind of illustrate like some of the challenges that the project has had. And while FEMA has been a wonderful partner, when we have changes to scope or budget, it's been really time intensive to get their responses. So we've kind of laid that out within, the request, just to kind of make them aware that the PSD is also waiting on their approval to move forward as well. So just based on our conversation with our contact at the state, we shouldn't have any issues.
Okay, motion on the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, more Birch River.
And the next is a time extension request for the PSD's Community Development Block Grant for its Mill Creek Waterline Extension Project. That project is under construction. It's just the period of performance will expire June 30th, so we're asking again for an extension of a year, which we do believe that the project will be completed in that time period. They have had a little bit of a delay, but I don't know if I'd really call it a delay. The contractor was way ahead of schedule getting the line laid. but where they're going to put the booster pumping station, they actually found that the ground isn't really adequate to just set it on the site, so they've got to, fill it and do
Site prep,
something.
right.
Yeah, so they're waiting on some materials for that, but they were so far ahead, we don't even know if they'll have to ask for an extension. But it is, it's still coming along.
Is there a motion for this extension?
I make a motion that we approve the one-year extension for the Birch River PSD Mill Creek Waterline Extension Project.
Motion on the floor, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is this the one that we had talked about, the line crossing where the bridge is? Is that this project?
No,
Okay.
separate issue,
Sorry.
and I can't remember exactly, but I think DOH found a workaround
Good.
where they just won't even bother the PSD's line, and so that will maybe just
Go away.
go away.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was $140,000 problem. right?
yes,
Solely on the DOH's part.
yeah. But the
That's right.
proximity
Placement
is
of the
really
bridge,
close
water
to
line
Mill
extension.
Creek.
Yes.
Yeah, it might even actually be the creek itself. Yeah.
Hinkle Mountain Broadband?
So we also have a time extension request on this project. We don't anticipate an issue with receiving it. And if you remember, we submitted the DOH permit for this project, I think, in March, and we're still waiting on that approval. We've seen a little bit of delay in getting those turned around, but as soon as we have that, we will be in a position to request authorization to bid for that project. So we're requesting an extension of a year, and we do anticipate that it will be completed within a year's time. Once the project is under contract, it's our understanding, construction's only gonna take like 90 to 120 days. So hoping to have it done before the turn of the year.
All right, so do we have a motion on the floor for the time extension on this project?
I make a motion that we extend the Hinkle Mountain Broadband expansion, time extension request of 1 year.
Motion on the floor, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, Hinkle Mountain Water Line Project?
That one we'll ask to table. We actually didn't have any invoices that the commission is plugged in to pay this month. So we'll just, maybe not even table, just disregard. That's
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Richwood Reconstruction Project, Memorandum of Understanding.
So, following the 2016 flood, the city was awarded funds for like several variations of projects, including a reconstruction project, and that's what this MOU is about. Those were stalled as they were placed on a suspension from FEMA, but that suspension has been lifted, so we're seeing those projects like get up and rolling again. So it's my understanding that this project, the proposal is to reconstruct a home that was damaged in a flood and already been demolished. But the home actually sits outside of the municipal limits of Richwood. Like they provide the water and sewer utilities, but it's not actually within the city. This isn't an issue, but FEMA did want a memorandum of understanding between the commission and the city, just to say that the commission is okay if the city pursues this project, that you wouldn't rather do it yourself.
It's a residence. It's a residential home.
Yes. Mhm. It reads, Nicholas County Commission, in cooperation with the City of Richwood, agrees to management of one proposed property elevation and reconstruction of said structure located outside of the City of Richwood. This agreement is to stipulate that the current property owner agrees to maintain said property in compliance with any and all deed restrictions placed on the property. This agreement further is to stipulate the City of Richwood will be the responsible party in the implementation of the grant and all financial accounting of this grant.
Is that a FEMA grant?
It is. It lists some like references, goes on to say problem, City of Richwood lacks jurisdiction over properties outside of city limits. This memorandum of understanding is solely for the purpose of the elevation and reconstruction and compliance with deed restrictions of one property located as described below, and then it's got the name and parcel number. monitoring and termination. Both the City of Richwood and Nicholas County Commission reserve the right to terminate this MOU should any of the following occur. Either party receives from the other a written request to terminate prior to the approval of the grant, property owner voluntarily withdraws from the project, or the project is not approved for funding. If this agreement terminates, both parties recognize the property listed above will be removed from the project and recapture funds, and it goes on.
So this has not been approved yet? Quasi?
My understanding is that the funding is there.
Okay.
But, you know, there's still a lot of planning to do as far as like what the actual cost of the rebuild is gonna be. Maybe if it was so far out of budget that it wasn't feasible and FEMA said, we just don't think we can do this, something like that.
And would this be safe to say that FEMA versus handing a homeowner money and going through that, Rich was gonna act as a pass-through, govern the
Yes.
money, make sure all the stipulations are met?
Yeah.
And then we're just agreeing to that?
Yeah, and just pretty much saying that, you know, technically this home is within the county,
Mhm.
not within the city.
Right.
And just that you're okay with Richwood pursuing this. And I will be honest and say this is the first like mitigation rebuilding project I've ever had experience with. So I just don't really know what to expect out of all of it. But But if you have questions and you want to mull this over and talk, you know, about it with Greg, we have a really good contact at the West Virginia Emergency Management Division. If you want to formulate some questions, we can have him on a call. I think it's, you know, it's a pretty basic
It's nothing we
endeavor.
should even have any worry about, really.
No. And I know they're doing a lot of the mitigation from, they've been buying up properties at tax sales to basically demolish. They've been real active with it.
So I don't have concerns, do you? Okay, yeah, we just go ahead and approve it.
Okay, do we have a motion on the floor for this?
Make a motion that we approve the Richwood Reconstruction Project Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU. And that is a FEMA grant, fully funded. Richwood will act as the oversight. The county's just acknowledging that's how it's going to take place.
Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. And they're taking responsibility for the grant itself as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion on the floor, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you,
I think
ma'am.
that's it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much. So, with President Cole not here, do you just want me to swing by one day and pick up some forms?
Yeah, that
Is
would
that
be
okay?
fine. Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. Will he be in between now and Friday?
It's
Okay.
hard to
We don't
say.
Is he
Having a
okay?
baby.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh. Well, that's exciting. Cool.
Yeah.
He's probably a mess.
Yeah, probably so. I'll touch base on Friday and see, because I'll be through, and then if not, I'll just circle back with you next week.
That'd be great.
All right.
Thanks,
You all have a wonderful
See you,
rest
Cassie.
of
Good
your
seeing
day.
you.
You too.
Okay.
Got back up here.
Robin Wood.
Yes, that's me.
Our next appointment is Robin Ward, County Executive Director, representing the U.S. Department of Agriculture with an Emergency Conservation Program Assistance.
Good morning, Commissioners. I want to hand this out to you, just so you guys can have a little bit of information of what my program is. And then here's my business card for you guys. I
One
am,
more, we'll pass it down. Here, he's on here.
oh, okay, yeah, very good. So I have been working with the national office in DC. First it came to our state office. Well, first it starts with me, and then it goes to the state office, and then on to national office. Myself and John Pitzenbarger toured the area after the storms that happened on April 2nd and took a survey of all the damage that was done, and we pretty much took into account after having an emergency board meeting that there's a lot of damage that was done in Nicholas County from those storms. So the national office has given me $500,000 worth of disaster funds to help farmers, producers within the southern, well, all of Nicholas County, but mostly gonna probably be in the southern end. But I just wanted to make you all aware that this program is available to producers. And if you end up talking to folks, farmers, direct them in my way. This program is gonna help farmers remove debris, so trees or, roofs or barns or anything that is located in their hay meadows or in their pastures that's gonna prevent them for their hay harvest. I'm gonna help in getting that stuff out of their fields. Also is gonna help with restoring and repairing their fence rows.
Yes.
I know there were some folks in Nettie that had lost a huge amount of like their fence and just road, access roadways that go in between their farms. This program's gonna help them too. The sign up starts for it May 20th and runs until June 20th. So May 20th to June 20th. And then myself, I will be at the, I don't know if you guys know where the NRCS office is, Natural Resources, that's next to the Save-A-Lot.
Uh-huh.
Every Tuesday in the month, I will be present there to be able to take sign-ups. I'm not sure.
The farmers that you guys have identified damage on, that you've done the assessments on, are you going to proactively work with them?
Yes.
Do they ever come to you?
Yes.
And I've heard this on the radio, so you guys
Yes,
your
I've
radio
been on
ads?
the radio,
Yes.
I've talked to them, and so
Definitely
I'm
heard that.
here, I'm present to tell you a little bit more
Yes.
about it if there's any
Yes.
questions. Also put a face to a name kind of deal,
Mm-hmm.
so.
So fencing, debris, structures, are you helping with like barn roof repairs, things like that?
I cannot do structures like repairing them, but if, like, say, a part of that roof came off and it's
Little
in,
rooms,
yes, I'm gonna pay the farmer the time to
Get it out of there.
get it out of there.
Okay.
Also, if, my county committee members have put a waiver into effect that some of these farmers had to get in there and already fix fence and
Yes.
already had to remove things because of
Couldn't wait.
emergency situations, the waiver is in place that we're still gonna help those.
So you reimburse?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So my job is just to tell you that it's out there, get the word out, tell the folks, that it's there. I want to try to help as many people as possible. Try
Much
to
appreciated.
put stuff back together. So
Now, how many counties do you cover?
Nicholas, Webster, Clay, and Braxton.
Okay.
So
Yep.
4. And I did do some touring in Braxton, but there wasn't the amount of damage that there was in Nicholas County.
Yeah,
so
got the brunt of it.
yeah. I had some more flowers I brought with me too. I don't know if I can leave with your secretary
Yeah.
out there, see if she, if anybody else comes in
Put
and has
something.
more interest. So,
Absolutely.
but I appreciate your time and having me come in here and tell you a little bit more about it.
Likewise.
Yeah, so it was good to meet you guys.
Likewise. Definitely appreciate everything you're doing.
Yeah, thanks. So, any other questions, direct them my way.
All right.
Thank you,
Okay?
ma'am.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, this brings us to commissioners' comments. Commissioner Roberts, do you have anything to talk about?
You're welcome.
I do.
Thanks.
I want to send a shout out. I did on the radio this morning to our county clerk's office. We have 30 polling places, 180 poll workers. Everything was reported in. They shut the doors and shut everything down at 9:36 last night. No incidents that I know of. And I'm telling you, that's a feat in my mind. That's a huge undertaking and a huge feat. And I think it was somewhere, it was about 7,500 voters. Is that what we?
I'm
trying to remember the number.
5,700.
Okay, 57. So somewhere south of 6,000 voters went out and voted. We had a record-breaking early voting. I think we had 1,307 early voters. And I can't say enough about the staff over there. And they worked together as a team. You could see it. I want to give a shout out to them. They did an amazing job last night. And the way I look at it is they're all warmed up and ready for the general election in the fall. So I think it'll be just as smooth or faster.
Well, it'd be quicker. There's a lot of unopposed.
Great. So yeah, I just want to send a shout out to them. And the other thing is so 50-some hundred voters out of 15,000 registered voters. That means a third of the people that come out and vote. We should be hitting 60 or 70, 80, 90% of the voters coming out. So educate yourself, get informed, and definitely go out and vote, or you're allowing other people to control your destiny. That's all I have.
The only thing I'd like to say is to the candidates, congratulations.
Yes.
To the ones who didn't win, condolences. I love the fact this was such a clean election, except for the governor's race, and I think those guys ought to be spanked. But the camaraderie between the people and the contestants was very good. Nobody left mad, maybe little feelings hurt, but we'd just like to say thank you and congratulations to our attorney who we're going to lose.
Judge Tucker.
Thank you.
Judge
Yes.
Tucker. And so that's all I have to say. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all.